and welcome to another edition of the Stench of Truth. I'm going to forego a reading today because I have a lot to talk about. First of all, I want to thank everybody who stopped by BTR, Blog Talk Radio, and listened to my show on Friday. I think it went very well, and I was very pleased with it. So I want to thank all of my listeners, and remind anybody else who hasn't, maybe want to stop over there and download the show or listen to it streaming on Blog Talk Radio, and watch for my upcoming episodes, which include Adam Go Rightly on Tuesday. I'm going to interview him Tuesday at 10 o'clock, and I also have Andy Colvin, the Mothman's photographer, show scheduled with him, and Paul Eno from Behind the Paranormal, also an author and expert on paranormal and ghosts. Those shows have already been scheduled, and I'm going to also have Chris Milligan, who is the publisher at Trine Day, which is an alternative media publishing company, and I'm going to have him on an upcoming show as well. These are people that are confirmed. So it looks like the radio show is shaping up very nicely, and hopefully all of these interviews will come through and be very thought-provoking and enjoyable for everybody who listens. So thank you for your support here. Thank you for your support there. Now on to the business. Okay, first of all, I want to talk about Gabrielle Giffords, the congresswoman, shot in the head. 6 people were killed. She's in critical condition right now. Apparently shot by a 22-year-old who has a mixture of beliefs. Sounds quite a lot like Lee Harvey Oswald to me. He had Mein Kampf listed as one of his favorite books, according to one site I looked at, and at the same time the Communist Manifesto. One of the videos that he supposedly put up on YouTube, I believe, talks about accepting no payment except where it's backed by gold and silver. This woman, Gabrielle Giffords, I guess was in a tight race this last time running for re-election. She was targeted by the Tea Party and Sarah Palin, which leads me to believe that this individual that they're going to trod before everybody, because they have him in custody, is going to be painted to be a right-wing extremist. And they went out of their way to point out in the article that he had an extended clip for his weapon. So I imagine this is going to be another attack on gun rights as well. Now, before I go on to talk more about this, I would like to make it clear that I think it's a tragedy. It's a tragedy that 6 people are dead here and others were wounded, including the congresswoman. It's a tragedy. But they're going to paint this to be disgruntled right-wingers. Chances are they're probably even going to find out this guy didn't even have a job, so now the unemployed are bad. More reason to target American citizens instead of doing what really needs to be done. And more proof that the so-called war on terror is being turned inward, as Napolitano and the Department of Justice and the Department of Homeland Security, all of these agencies that are charged with supposed law enforcement, are instead infringing on the rights of American people. Just recently with Napolitano teaming up with Walmart with the Support Suspicious Activity, apparently has led to backlash for her, as well as several package bombs or ignition devices were delivered to Maryland offices, apparently accompanied with a note talking about reporting suspicious activity being bull, and how this is a self-fulfilling prophecy. Another right-wing nut job, I'm sure, as it's going to be painted by the media. And The third topic is John Wheeler, the former government official involved with the Pentagon, found dead in a dumpster, which officials ruled a homicide. This guy, shown in surveillance video, apparently wearing two different sets of clothing on the same day or a very short period of time, both times acting in a quote-unquote confused or agitated state. In one video, he's walking around carrying one of his shoes in his hand with one shoe on his feet. It's cold outside and he only has on a light jacket. Apparently told at least one person that he was robbed of his briefcase and could not find his car. This guy involved with a dispute with his neighbor, which involves some sort of smoke device, and supposedly his cell phone was found in the neighbor's house. Now, all of a sudden now, we're being told that this may not be murder. That maybe he just climbed into that dumpster in his poor, confused, demented state and ended up dying from some other reason. So let's look at these three issues a little bit more deeply, okay? Those are the three main topics that I wanted to talk about. You know, in the instance where you have a shooting take place, this is at a public event, this is of a public figure, and the way the media is going to spin this, you got to get in on the ground floor. You have to look at it from the very first day, because later on, down the pike, everything's going to be spun in so many different directions that you're not going to know which way to look. So it's important right now to look at the first reports coming out of that scene. Okay, same thing goes for Napolitano and the ignition bombs in Maryland. Okay? They're going to paint this 22-year-old guy who, according to one source I looked at, says is an Afghan vet. An Afghan war vet. Okay? Put a video up talking about gold and silver backing of currency, which would put him in the supposed fringe right. Okay? And talking about how the supposed Tea Party right-wing group under Sarah Palin targeted this congressman, this congresswoman. This is going to turn into an entire internecine battle. And there's going to be more of the idea of no contact between congressmen and the people that they supposedly represent. This is going to be justification for them to hold up in their fortresses, wherever they happen to be, cuddling their big piles of cash, while everybody out in the country ends up losing their fucking jobs, losing their fucking houses, and losing their fucking lives. This will be more fuel to that fire of why they can't have town hall meetings, they can't listen to their people. Not that they listen anyway, but they'll stay away and won't even allow themselves to be put in that position. It's a tragedy, and it's terrible that people were shot and some were killed at this event. It's a terrible thing. But you can guarantee that the tragedy of it is going to be lost in all of the political hay and all of the propaganda that's going to be foisted on people in this country in the aftermath of this event. Same thing goes with the package ignitions in Maryland, apparently targeting Janet Napolitano. And this guy is going to be, you know, painted as a new Unibomber type character with an agenda, with a manifesto, if you will. Some more reason for Homeland Security or Homeland Gestapo to invade in our rights, take away our privacy, and grope our testicles and our vaginas and our asses when we go through an airport, all in the name of protection. All of this stuff sounds really like it's made up. This 22-year-old supposed Afghan war vet sounds like he could be another Lee Harvey Oswald. It could be that John Wheeler is being made out to be a Lee Harvey Oswald after the fact. He's conveniently dead. He certainly had access to information at one point in his career. He was involved in legal battles. According to one source, him and his wife were suing the Navy over something. Any old skeletons in the closet of the government that they could pin on this guy, like they did the guy they blamed for the anthrax attacks? I could see that coming. And then never solving the reason why he's dead. Or why someone who's perfectly fucking sane one day could be acting like he's completely demented the next. Unless they have a fast-acting dementia agent, which I would not be surprised if they do. Or gave him a drug to make him act in a disoriented way in order to end up dead somewhere in a dumpster. That story stinks, and it stinks to high heaven. There's something way more going on there. Watch the spin on this, folks. It's going to get so dizzy, you're not going to be able to stand. Thank you. Good night.